What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Let's Look at the Tape. I'm your host, Jordan. This is the show, the podcast where we look at movies new and old, what I like, what I don't like, and what's yay and nay. Now, I'm gonna make sure I do this right this time. The way this show works, I do the non-spoiler up front and the spoiler after, and I let you know when the spoilers are coming because you're not gonna say that I spoiled the movie for you. Okay? I will let you know. Got it. It only took 4 times, but I got it. Today, we are looking at Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Just saw this movie yesterday, but the time that I'm recording this is actually Friday, the day it actually comes out today that I'm recording this. But I saw it yesterday because movie theaters be doing that. Saw it yesterday with my mama. Mama likes Mission Impossible. We went to go see it. And it was a good time. Me and mom. Nice rainy day. I love my rainy days. Rainy day in the movie theater is a good day for me. And me and mom had a day. So it was cool. It was fun. But Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Not much else to say other than that, so let's look at the tape. All right. Synopsis of this movie. Ethan Hunt and the IMF race against time to find the entity, a rogue artificial intelligence that can destroy mankind. My mom forgot what happened in the last movie. Mama forgot what happened in the last movie. But she was like, I'll just catch up when I go see this. I was like, how you forget? I was like, I know it's been some time, but how you forget? And then I was like, well, we can watch it. The one before this one, we can watch that tonight. And then I went to sleep and she went to sleep and then we just never watched it. So, but she caught up when we got there. Listen, did y'all hear that? Oh. Did y'all hear that? That was my stomach, y'all. It's lunchtime. I didn't eat yet. It's lunchtime. I gotta eat after this. I'm gonna record this and I'm gonna eat. Yo, that was crazy. I'm not editing that out. I'm not editing that out. Tom Cruise stresses me out. But I have to tell y'all a secret. I've only seen 2 Mission Impossible. I've only seen this one and the last one. What is this? Oh, yo, it's doing it again. Stomach. If y'all hear my stomach growling throughout this, I apologize because I haven't eaten yet. I had breakfast, but that was hours ago. I've been up since 5 o'clock. So I'm hungry. Anyway, yeah, I think, what is this, 8? So I've only seen 8 and 7. Yeah. And I'm not apologizing for it. I'm just letting you know. I haven't seen the other ones. Maybe I'll watch them later, but I've only seen 2. I've seen the last 2. If this was the last one, because you know how Hollywood be, they could just make another one. But man, just let a good thing go. Sometimes it's good to let a good thing go. 8 movies is enough. 8 is enough. And I'm assuming that they're all good because the last 2 were really good. So I'm assuming that the other ones are good enough to warrant 8 movies. It's okay to let a good thing go. It's time. What? Tom Cruise is how old? How old is Tom Cruise? 62. Still doing his own stunts. God bless him. But, they'll probably make another one. They might. But they might not because of certain reasons that we won't talk about yet. We'll save that for the spoiler. But, yeah, Tom Cruise be stressing me out, man. The Tom Cruise run always has to happen. But that's not what stressed me out. But I'm just saying, the stunts that Ethan Hunt be doing, stressing me out. I'm like, yo, just, man, come on. Stressing me out. Anyway, Yeah, we had a good time watching this movie. It was fun. We laughed a little bit. The suspense was there. The stress was there. The action was there. The chasers were there. It was a Mission Impossible movie, which you would expect. And now here y'all talking. How would you know what to expect? You only seen two. Well, I saw the last one, and it was in there, so I expect it to be in this one, and I'm expecting it to be in the other ones when I watch them. You ain't gonna come at me. No, you ain't gonna come for me like that. I'll watch them when I'm ready. But it was a good time. They're trying to get the entity. This movie is following off of a cliffhanger that the last one left you on. Essentially, it was like Infinity War in the last one. They lost. So this is their redemption story. This is the win all be all. Because if they lose this time, it's over. Over. Like we lost last time, everybody loses this time if we fail. This is our last shot. This artificial intelligence is the Thanos of this movie. We gotta win. And I'm using air quotes, the entity, the artificial intelligence, is no joke. And I knew it was no joke because at some point it was talking to Tom Cruise and it was talking about itself in the third person. It kept saying, the entity would do this and the entity would do. I was like, you're the entity talking about itself in the third person. I was like, oh, this thing ain't playing. For some reason, when a character starts talking about themselves in the third person like that, you know they mean business. The lengths that they had to go to stop this thing. And everything had to go right. Perfectly. Which is stressful enough because you know something's going to go wrong anyway. But the fact that everything had to go just right for any of the plan to work, knowing that stuff is going to go wrong was stressful enough. And they had Tom Cruise running the whole time. They had him stressed out. He was stressed out for real. Whole team all over the place. His tech guy he told his tech, I forget his name, Bernie, something like that. Hold on, let's see. Let me see. No, go back. Benji had to step up and be team lead. I was like, yo. Oh, am I getting into spoilers? My bad. I'll cut that part out. The whole team in shambles. Not in shambles, but they were all over the place trying to get this thing done. Because if we don't stop this thing in 2 days, it's over. It's going to execute what it said it was going to do. This thing is trying to kill everybody. Everybody. Dead. That's what it wants. Everybody gone. Mass extinction of humanity. No survivors. Bye-bye. And then you got Gabriel, who was a loose end from the other movie also. This dude is just... He's not even like a threat like that, oh man, he can't be stopped. He's not that kind of threat. He's just in the way. He's just in the way of us stopping the actual threat, which makes him a threat. You know what I mean? Like, Tom Cruise can handle him, honestly. But there are bigger things at stake and only a certain amount of time to do it, which makes Gabriel a threat because he's in the way, because he has something that they need to stop the entity. So now we have to go through this extra step before we can do what we actually need to do. And Gabriel, he was just a pain. He was a pain. He was like a cockroach. He just didn't want to go. He just did not want to give up. He didn't want to die. Gabriel was just in the way. We're going to call him, that's his nickname, the cockroach. The cockroach was in the way. But yeah, listen. That's all I'm going to say for the non-spoiler, honestly. If you have seen the other Mission Impossibles, you're going to get what you expect from a Mission Impossible movie. Very entertaining, suspenseful, action-packed. You're going to have Tom Cruise doing the Tom Cruise run. It's in there. He's doing his own stunts. He's even got not a disclaimer, but he's got a little thank you video before the beginning of the movie and all that. It's a good time. You're going to enjoy yourself. I promise. It was a good time, honestly. With that being said, we're going to go into the spoilers now. So where my spoiler family at? If you haven't seen Mission Impossible Final Reckoning yet, go to the theater and watch the movie. Because we're going to the spoilers now. And you're not going to say that I spoiled it for you. I'm not going to be that guy. So 3, 2, 1. We're still here. That was my stomach again. We're still here. We all seen it? Spoiler family? All right. All right, spoiler fam, let's go. Luther is a real one. I don't remember Luther being sick in the previous movie, but apparently he was sick in this one. Luther is a real one. Luther made the contingency for everything before he died. And yes, Luther died. Gabriel is a pain. He tricked Luther into being in that cell with that bomb that could blow up the city, but Luther stopped it from blowing up the city, and instead it would only blow up like a certain radius of the building that he was in. In other words, Luther died. But he died a hero. He died a hero and a genius. And it had Tom Cruise. It had Ethan stressed out. He got to say goodbye at least. But he couldn't save his friend, which was sad. And the entity, man. It's like you're fighting something that you can't see, and that's a scary thing. Fighting something that you can't see, but has all the power to destroy you. And you only got 2 days, because the entity is taking control of every nation's nuclear weaponry. It's taking control. One at a time. Strategically doing this one at a time. And it's like, yo, Ethan and his team can stop it, but Gabriel has, okay, so this is what Luther did. Luther made a digital, what they call it. I want to say elixir, but that's not what they called it. He made a code that would pretty much like a virus almost for the entity, for the AI. And what's his name? Gabriel took that before he trapped Luther to his demise. So now Gabriel has the virus chip, whatever they called it. I can't remember. The pill. I think they called it the pill. Gabriel has the pill, and he's on the move. There's one element that everybody wants, everybody needs. Because Gabriel was working for the entity. Now he's working against the entity. Now Gabriel wants the control. He doesn't want the entity to have the control. He wants to have the power over the entity. In order to do that, he needs to gain access to the entity. And the entity, its source is coming from the submarine that was lost many years ago. Am I getting all this right? Right. Ethan has the key to the vault that has the what was that thing? It looked like a flat. It looked like a hard drive to me, but he has the key basically to get whatever that thing was for the entity. Whatever that thing is that holds the entity. That's Tom Cruise's mission, to get that piece. Because he has the key. But first, he has to go through the president. The president is like, yo, in 72 hours, we're going to lose our nuclear control of our nuclear weaponry. When that clock hits 0, it's over. So you better know what you're doing. But the thing is, the entity already showed Ethan what was going to go down. Ethan had a moment where he talked to the entity, and the entity showed him what was going to happen. So he knows that there's only one way to come out of this. This was really like an Infinity War endgame for Mission Impossible. There's one way. There's only one way for us. And if we gotta die, we gotta die. But we gotta do it. And we gotta do it quick. What they say? Because I feel like she said 72 hours, but that thing, they kept saying 72 hours and 2 days, but that's 48 hours. But they kept, my cat's squeaking the door again. They kept saying the same thing twice. Because they showed you maybe I'm getting the time. Maybe I'm getting when they said it wrong. Because when they showed it on the clock, they only had 2 days. So maybe I'm just getting when they said those two confused. But anyway, when he was talking to the president, the clock said 2 days. So he's got 2 days to get all this done. He's got 2 days to get to the Arctic. He's got to get in the North Sea, get down there, get the thing, make it back. Then they got to find Gabriel and get the pill. Because this is the plan. Once they have that hard drive, they got to put the pill on the back of it. Because that's going to infect the entity. Once they've infected the entity, Luther had this other hard drive, which looked super cool. Which, what it would do is once the entity was infected, they could trap it in that other hard drive. And once they trapped it, it was over. It was basically like trapping the genie in the bottle. That was the plan. We're going to call it Genie in the Bottle. That's the plan. That's the end goal. But before we get there, we got to get the hard drive and we got to get the pill. So Tom Cruise, Ethan, he goes looking for the hard drive and the rest of the team is looking for the pill. No, I'm sorry, not for the pill. They're looking for the coordinates to the submarine that has the hard drive. That's the first part. And that, honestly, that's most of the movie right there, is just finding the coordinates for the submarine. That's most of the movie by itself. That was the hardest part. Because we know who has the pill. We just got to find them later. But this submarine has been lost like forever. When they finally found it, and when he went down there, stressed me out. Stressed me out. Because he got to go all the way down there. First, where they were at, was it like close to Russia? And Russia was like, don't you come over here. Russia was like, don't you come over. They sent the jets out. They started showing them their missiles. They said, we give you. They was like, that's our one warning. And then Ethan just jumped out the plane into the freezing water. And then he got saved by this submarine team. American submarine team. And they're like, yo, what was you going to do if we didn't come? He was like, I didn't even think that far ahead. This man is crazy. So they equipped him with a scuba suit, which is supposed to be able to give you enough air for like what they said, like a couple days. Excuse me, like a couple days or something. But it never been tested for as far as he needed to go. So at that point, it only turned to theory. So the theory was that he might have a few hours or a couple hours. But that's just theory because, again, it was never designed to go that far. But Ethan Hunt's got to do what Ethan Hunt's got to do because the fate of the world is on the line. So, of course, he goes down there. But he already had a plan with his team. The plan with his team was that he was going to go down there and that the plan was that he was technically going to die, but that they were going to resuscitate him and then they were going to move forward. That was their plan. That was their plan. And honestly, that's exactly what happened. He went down there with the suit. He got what he needed to get. He evaded being blown up by the nukes that were on that submarine or bombs, missiles, whatever, if they weren't nukes. But he evaded that explosion. He's lucky that thing didn't go off. Not only that, but the submarine starts falling off the cliff that it's been resting on. So if it falls off this cliff with him in it, he's gone. Because it's going into those deep, deep, dark parts of the ocean when it falls. And it ends up falling. And the suit that he gets he gets the hard drive. And he starts going out one of the missile ports of the submarine. But at that point, the submarine's falling off the cliff. And he makes it out, but then he gets snagged. And he starts falling again. So now he's got to take the whole thing off. So now he's just swimming from super low depths of the ocean back to the surface. And that was like, they warned him about the bends and everything. But this is where it got super unrealistic because as far down, he took one deep breath and then took the rest of the suit that he had on off, holding on to the hard drive and swam up. I don't care how good of a diver you are. As far low as he was, he wouldn't have made it back to the surface. He wouldn't have made it. That was my only gripe. As far down as he was, he would not have made it taking off that suit like he did. That's the only part that took me out. But anyway, it's a movie, Jordan. Just let it go. I can't. Just let it go. All right. At that point, the plan that they originally made happened. He pretty much died. He drowned. They resuscitated him. They brought him back. Now they got to go find Gabriel. They find Gabriel. He's got the pill. Long story short with that, you got the chase going on. The airplane chase. But the way the airplane chase goes is, Ethan's on. It's not one of the. It's not like an American airline airplane. It's one of those analog planes. One of those old planes that can't get hacked by the entity. And of course, Ethan's on the outside. He's not in the seat. He's on the outside. This is one of those planes that have the propeller in the front. It's one of those. But he's holding on from the wheels, climbs his way up. And now he's got to get into the seat of this thing while fighting Gabriel. And the whole time, there were two planes. Before he got to Gabriel's plane, there was another dude's plane. He got to get in his plane to catch up to Gabriel to get into that plane to get the pill. But the whole time I'm like, yo, bro, get in the plane. You're stretching this out. Like I know there's a lot of pressure going on because you're thousands of miles in the air. But with that being said, hurry up and get in the plane. He was stressing me out with that, man. I thought he was gonna fall. At one point when he got close to Gabriel and they were upside down, I thought he was about to fall. I thought he was about to snatch that thing off his neck and just drop. Stressed me out, man. But no, he finally gets it. And Gabriel died in such a dumb way. It's like he really thought he was about to get away, and then he hit his head on the wing of the plane and died. I was like, wow, that was so anticlimactic. It's like he really thought he was about to get away. Gone. So Ethan gets the pill. He puts it on the hard drive. That activates what the rest of the team is doing with that other hard drive, 5 terabyte thing, whatever. That traps the entity in there, and then they caught it. And then it started to glow, and then that's when we knew we won. And then the lights went out all over the world, and then the lights came back on, and then everybody knew they were safe. That's when everyone knew they were safe. Everybody got access to their powers again, to the control of their weaponry. They won. They won. They stressed me out the whole way through, but they won. Because I was like, I know they're going to win. But in my mind, I was like, I feel like they're going to win with circumstances. I feel like something's going to happen that wasn't supposed to happen anyway. But overall, I thought they were going to win. But I was wrong, and they won the whole way. Stressed me out, though. But like I said, the last Mission Impossible, supposedly, allegedly, we'll find out. We'll see in a couple years. We'll find out for sure in a couple years. Honestly, I don't see them dropping it. I feel like they're going to make another one because Hollywood. But this has been Mission Impossible. This has been Let's Look at the Tape for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. And if you were disobedient and you didn't look away, if you didn't pause this podcast and you haven't seen the movie, it just came out today that I'm recording this, but I'm not putting it out today that I'm recording this. So you have time. But if you didn't look away, if you didn't go away and watch the movie, and you're still here right now, if you barged your way into the spoiler fam, why? Why you spoil the movie for yourself? Why? Thank you for listening, but why? I just want to know why. You could have went, watched it, came back. But no, now, if you've ruined it for yourself, now you have too much head knowledge. Now you're going to be watching the movie. You're not going to have the same suspense because you already know what's going to happen. You've ruined the movie for yourself. Why? Why would you do it to yourself? Don't do it to yourself, y'all. It's not worth it. This has been another episode of Let's Look at the Tape. Thank you for listening, and I'll see y'all next time.